Hey guys, Shabba here, and today I'm gonna be doing some Magic the Gathering spoilers, and not just any spoilers, Guilds of Ravnica. And just because I haven't been doing them lately, I'm actually going to be doing a catch-up before I start talking about the newer cards. So I'm gonna briefly go over most of these things that have been shown off. But briefly, I mean varying times of cared because sometimes I don't care about the card. Let's start with Impervious Great Worm, 7 and 3 green. It's a worm, it's a mythic. Not just that, it's the buy a box promo. So you can only get this in the box. Like you buy a box at your local game store, and you get one of these. Which I hate that, but whatever. Convoke, Indestructible, 16/16. Those are all good. The only thing I wish is it had trample. But yeah, it's a lot like a certain worm I used to play back in the past. Let's see if it has it. Octathon Worm. This bad boy here is basically this new worm's grandpa. I used to love this card so much. Why? Because I would trick people into buying this card just because it is real big, and I would trick people into trading for it. Like I'd trade it at Jitte for one. It's not like I hate the card, it's just that there's a lot of people who is wanting the biggest creature around, and at the time, this was him. In fact, he's the biggest creature for till probably about the next Ravnica set. So yeah, not bad. See, there's his upgrade, the World Spine Worm. It's not quite as good as World Spine Worm I think is better than this guy, but he does have Convoke, and he is 16/16. I'm sure you could do something with him. All right, next is Macabre Hatchery. I'm not sure how you pronounce it properly, but hey, I'm just going with it. 3 and a black and 2 black here. But here it's written wrong, so one day they might fix it. I'm using Mythic Spoiler, by the way. It's always useful just to do a video with the Mythic Spoiler, even though I mostly use MTG Salvation. Alright, so Sorcery. Choose a creature card in your graveyard with converted mana cost of 1, then choose 1 for 2, and choose 1 for 3, and you return those to the battlefield. It's not the best effect, but I think this card could be broken in certain formats. I guess like Modern and Commander probably, because it's not going to do very well in Legacy, and I don't think it has very good targets in Standard. But in Modern, you could probably go like, let's see, Viscera Seer for 1. The card that gets you the no counters being put on things, and then Kitchen Finks for 3. I think that card costs 2, I'm not sure. But I think this could probably set up a whole thing. I'm not sure though. I kinda like it, but I'm not too sure on it. It's up in there. Now we go to these. These are the masterpieces. No one really wants to talk about them because they kinda suck, because they cost too much. But there's one reason I'm talking about it. Because Rao isn't Viceroy. This is how he got shown off. He's 3 blue and a red. He's a legendary planeswalker, like all new ones, and he has starts at 5 loyalty, which is pretty good. +1, look at the top 2 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. It's interesting because it's not card draw, and it pitches one, which I think could be really good for Surveil. Not Surveil, Jumpstart. Jumpstart's the new one that involves graveyard. So I think it could be useful. I don't know in which formats, but I feel somewhere that would be pretty good. -3. He does damage to target creature equal to the total number of instant and sorcery cards you own in exile and in your graveyard. This is interesting because, well, that ability kind of sucks. Like, doesn't really do much, but it's interesting because it looks at your exile and counts instants and sorceries in exile. That by itself is interesting. And I'm not going to talk about anything else over here, so don't even think about it. And we get his -8, which is his ult, which is actually pretty good, but very dangerous in Commander. You get an emblem with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell. This emblem deals 4 damage to any target and you draw 2 cards. I feel like this could lead to you getting milled out just because of how, whenever you cast a spell, you start drawing a lot of cards. So be careful with that one. It's still good though, and I think it's definitely going to see some play. It's just a matter of time before it finds a home. Alright. Now on to the actual spoilers of, Guilds of Ravnica. Those were just things we're just showing off randomly at like packs and stuff. So they're not quite the same. They don't have the same level of spoilers. Alright. Thought Erasure. Blue and a black sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand, and you choose a non-land card from it, and they discard it. That's pretty good. And Surveil 1. It's actually really good because it hits any non-land cards. Not any weird stipulation like you can't hit a creature or something. It's just non-land. That's pretty good. And you Surveil 1, which in certain decks, if you're playing black, would probably love it. I like it so far. I'm not too sure how well it's going to get played though. But as an ability, I think it's really good. Then we have Conclave Tribunal. 3 and a white. Enchantment. Convoke. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. It's basically our set's new O-Ring, because it's basically the same thing. But it has Convoke, so it costs 4. Doesn't have Flash, so I don't think it's going to see much play. But who knows? It might. It depends on the white removal that's currently in Standard. I don't know how much there is. I'm sure there's an EDH deck will probably like it because they're just playing all the O-Ring effects or something. So there you go. There you go, deck. That's an interesting O-Ring effect for you. Sinister Sabotage. 1 and 2 blue. Instant counter target spell. And Surveil 1. So strictly better counter spell that Surveil. So it's, it's pretty good. Not counter spell. Strictly better cancel. It's not nearly as good as counter spell. Unless you're like really wanting that Surveil 1. Necrotic Wound. 1 black. Instant. Target creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. This might be trying to be the set not path, but God, what's the? Well, it's just it's the good 1-drop removal spell, I think. I'm not too sure how good it is because it relies on you getting creatures in your graveyard, and I'm not too sure how good mono black can do that, so might have to splash it. Because in blue you have Surveil, and in green you probably have something because of Golgari. I'm not sure. Boros Challenger. Red and a white creature, human soldier. Oh goody. Boros. Mentor, which has this. Whenever this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature with lesser power. And he pumps himself for +1/+1 for 4 mana. So basically, he attacks, he will pump a 1/1. Or I guess technically himself. I think. I'm not sure. He's not that good, just saying. Firemind's Research. Blue and a red enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter on it. You move 2. You could pay 1 and a blue, remove 2 charge counters from it, and draw a card. You can remove 1. Pay 1 in red, remove 5 charge counters to do 5 damage. Basically, it's a bad storm card. I don't think it's going to be useful, but I mean, I've said that about other cards, and those cards have dominated. So I, I still don't think it's very good, but this last one could go out of hand. Maybe I'm not too sure. I mean, the deck might just use it for this because drawing a card. I don't know yet. I don't have faith in that though. Amara, Soul of the Accord, a green and a white, so Selesnya. Legendary creature, Elf Cleric. Okay, creature types for green and white. When it becomes tapped, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. I mean, it's okay. Very good for Convoke. I'm not sure what else it would do, like if there's a way to break it. But hey, I'm not 100% sure on that. I mean, I guess if you have a tap and you have Intruder Alarm, you could go infinite. Just saying. Quasi Duplicate. 1 and 2 blue. Sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Jumpstart. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other cost. Then exile this card. It's basically flashback, but the benefit of the Jumpstart is you're not paying a super high cost to get the card back because it's costing you an extra card to pay for it. So all flashback costs are usually like double the original cost, or maybe sometimes triple. This one is they're all gonna have the same current mana cost. So this is what the actual Ral is at Viceroy looks like. He's very crappy looking. And then we go to Nargamoeba. 1 and a blue. Illusion. This is a reprint, by the way. Flying, when it enters the graveyard from your library, you may put it into the battlefield. It's a 1/1 flyer. Is it any good right now? Not really. This used to be uncommon, but they up-shifted it to rare because of the Surveil. And I guess if there's some other ability, but I don't especially like it being in Ravnica because it just doesn't fit at all, in my opinion. Space Jellyfish I don't think that's a good Ravnica creature type, so I'm not sure though. Now we go to Underrealm Lich. 3, a black and a green. It's a zombie elf shaman. That's an interesting creature type. If you would draw a card, instead look at the top 3 cards of your library. Then put one of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Which is a very interesting ability because it's a lot like Sylvan Library. But you're pitching things into the graveyard, you don't get to keep all 3. Unless you're playing Gory, which you obviously are. Which your graveyard is also kind of like your hand in a way. If you know what I mean. But it does not synergize with Dredge at all. Because you're not drawing a card, you're putting it into your hand. So if you're thinking about putting this on Dredge, it won't work. Then you have the last ability of his, Pay for Life. And he gains indestructible until in turn you tap it. I don't especially like it, but it's just there to keep your guy alive. Because, you know, you basically have a Sylvan Library. And that's kind of the pay for cost for Sylvan Library. Which isn't really the same, but it's sort of that way. And he's a 4/3, so he can beat down if you really need to. Legion War Boss. 2 and a red. Goblin Soldier with Mentor. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 red Goblin creature token, and he gains that token gains haste at 10 a turn. And it has to attack. Basically, it is the not Goblin Guide. Goblin. It's gonna be popping up here. It's Rabble Master. I couldn't think of his name. It's just this the new Goblin Rabble Master, but this one does not make every single Goblin attack. It just makes the one he creates attack, and only till in turn, I think. So it's not bad. Sacred Foundry, it's Shockland. I'm not really going to go over the Shocklands. You should know what they are. Sacred Foundry, Water Grave, Temple Garden, Overgrown Tomb, and Steam Vents are all in the set. And that is it for this video. I'm going to be coming back pretty soon with part 2, where I'm going to cover the, I guess, more up-to-date spoilers. I mean, they're still pretty far behind, but hey, I don't want these videos to be too long. Alright, see you in my next video, and have a fantastic day.